From the unexplained to the mundane, come join us on a journey to the fringe. Hello and welcome to Journey to the Fringe, where dreams come true. Not exciting dreams, but dreams nonetheless. We are your hosts, Taylor and Chelsea, and today Chelsea has an episode for us, and I have no idea at all what it is, so...
That's nothing new now. That's just a part of every intro.
Yeah.
Today I had a hankering from some... damn it. Today I had a hankering for some haunted objects. So haunted objects is what I get. If I were just to name off the top of my head a few haunted objects, I would start with Annabelle, Raggedy Ann doll. I'd like to hear from you what you would name as the most haunted object that you know.
It's definitely dolls. Dolls are the biggest one. I don't know. Yeah. Do houses count as haunted objects?
Yeah. Is a house an object?
I think so.
Like, it's tangible. I never did define what a haunted object was in this episode, so... I guess
that really reminds me, too, of... There's an episode you did with the Japanese idea that something comes to life after, 100 years.
Yeah.
That is really what makes me think. But yeah, Annabelle's probably to bring it right back to your actual episode. Annabelle. Definitely Annabelle.
I almost took the bait. I almost kept going on that one. Yeah, Annabelle, Robert the Haunted Doll. For sure, he's definitely really haunted that I hear about. And lamps. The djinn love them, I guess. I think. And I think that just about does it for haunted objects I may know of. So forget about those.
That was a short episode.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's more.
No, it's not gonna end, I guess. I could keep going.
Okay.
Here at Journey to the Fringe, we're here for the things that I don't know, and you don't know, and maybe you, the listeners, don't know. So down with the mainstream. We're going with the things that we want to find out about, not that we already know about. So if there is one thing that during this research that I learned as a takeaway, it's that there are a handful of things that are just scientifically going to be more haunted than other things. So that's paintings, jewels, dolls, and mummies, which can also be cursed.
A lot of those things I'd say are more cursed than haunted.
So in the Venn diagram of haunted versus cursed, you would definitely get some crossover in the middle of the, I don't know what that's called scientifically for sure, but you would get some cross. There might have been something else. Chairs are fucking haunted too. Okay, so let's just talk about some haunted things you may or may not know. May not know. That wasn't English. First up, the Anguished Man. It's a painting. If you want to Google it, take a look. But don't look too close. It might haunt you. That's not
wait, sorry. Are pictures of pictures haunted, or is it just the original picture?
Probably just the original. It's spooky though, so just brace yourself. I'm just warning you, don't be startled. The Anguished Man is a painting created by an unknown artist. I'm not sure how we finish off this portion with it being unknown, but here we are. The owner of the painting, Sean Robinson from Cumbria, England, claims to have inherited the painting from his grandmother, who told him that the artist who created the painting had mixed his own blood into the paint and then died by suicide soon after finishing the work. Quite the relic to pass down through generations. The painting has been characterized as being supposedly haunted. Thank God. It is haunted. I was getting worried it might not be. Robinson uploaded videos of the painting to his YouTube channel in 2010 in which he claims to have heard crying and moaning noises in his house and to have once seen the figure of a man, maybe from the painting. In 2016, rights were acquired to make a film based on the story of the painting, and I'm not sure what film that is, and that's all I have. What do you think of the painting?
It is a creepy painting, I agree with that. Is he the only one who's apparently, said it's haunted?
Yes.
Has anybody else, given, oh no, I heard crying too when I was in, the vicinity of it?
No.
Just him,
not from my research.
Okay. And I'm seeing, actually, that they sold the rights to the movie in 2016.
What's the movie?
So, I don't think it's actually ever come out.
Oh.
It's just the rights were sold.
Is this Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? He's just going to sell the rights to everyone for money?
Maybe. Apparently, there is also a Wikipedia article on body fluids in art.
Yes.
Which I don't really want to read.
Didn't want to click on it. Nope. I felt like this was as far as I wanted to go with it. I did.
Yeah, it is creepy. It's almost like a skinless man screaming.
He looks like he's on fire and his skin is melted off.
Yeah, and he's screaming, or his mouth is just open. It actually would be pretty easy to replicate, too. It's not that high a quality.
Well, no, there's blood in the paint.
So, yeah, I mean, if anybody just wants to sell movie rights, I think it's a very lucrative thing to look into, just, claiming a painting is haunted.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's creepy.
From this recording session today, I'm coming away with a lot of different career ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Carl Pruitt's grave. This haunted object comes with a warning, and I'm just going to get it right out of the way first, just in case I can save anyone a haunting. The warning is, don't deface any tombstones that bear the name Carl Pruitt. So if you happen to be listening right now, and you have your hand in the air ready to deface Carl Pruitt's tombstone, just put it down and hear me out. And perhaps just move to a tombstone next to it if you really must deface a tombstone, if that's what you're out to do tonight. I'm going to tell you the story now. Listen and then act, okay? In Kentucky, in the late 1930s, a carpenter named Carl Pruitt reportedly walked in on his wife in, I don't know why this is in another language, and I don't know what language it is. Flagrante delicto. Let me Google that. With another man. I assume that means indispose.
I found another source that says Carl Pruitt returned home from work in 1938 to find his wife in bed with another man.
Okay, in flagrant delicto is Latin for in blazing offense.
Huh.
Oh, that's very fancy. With another man. Okay, wife. Pruitt strangled her to death with a chain before taking his own life. After he was buried, far from his wife, some kids are said to have noticed what looked like the outline of a chain on Pruitt's tombstone. How did he die? I don't know.
Was he hanged?
Oh, he took his own life. Sorry,
he
that
killed
was
himself.
Just me.
Yeah.
Okay, one kid chucked a rock at it, only to be strangled to death on his ride home when his bicycle chain got dislodged from its track and wrapped around his neck.
How the hell does that happen?
Oh, yes.
I want to see, what's the name of that movie? The horror series where it's like death is coming for them because they were on that airplane that they should have died in? Final Destination. Yeah. I would love to see.
That is a Final Destination.
Yeah.
After the boy's mom took an axe to the tombstone, this is really escalating, she ended up strangled by her clothesline, and the tombstone appeared mysteriously undamaged. A farmer who shot at the tombstone accidentally spooked his horse and got strangled by the reins. You might be starting to sense a theme here. Anyone who messes with Pruitt's final resting place died of strangulation. That was Carl's middle name. Carl, I'll strangle you from beyond the grain, Pruitt, and it rings true to this day. I don't know how they picked that middle name for him, but...
I wonder what they put on the tombstone.
It probably says, deface me or something.
Yeah.
Just taunting someone.
Do it.
According to legend, Pruitt's vengeful spirit claimed a couple more victims before the cemetery was demolished by strip miners in the late 1950s. That also says to me that something probably happened to those miners, but I guess we'll never know. That's the mystery of Carl Pruitt.
I'm kind of surprised this one didn't have its rights sold. I feel it would be hard to make it into a horror movie, but nonetheless.
No, it would be a new Final Destination. Anyhow, anyone listening that is interested in this movie, journeytothefringe@gmail.com.
Yeah.
We will sell you the rights. Exclusive rights.
We have the exclusive rights apparently now.
Yeah, we do. We definitely came up with this. Thomas Busby's chair. Thomas Busby was arrested, tried, and condemned to death after he murdered his father-in-law, Daniel Addy, in 1702 in North Yorkshire, England. Addy and Busby were running a coin counterfeiting business, as well as other criminal enterprises, and they argued about the business, which ended with Busby killing Addy. One variation of the story has Busby cursing the chair whilst on his way to execution. Chair. Whereas another says that he was drunk in the chair when he was arrested and cursed it then. All in all, Busby was quoted as Busby, I missed the B, quote, "May death come to anyone who dares sit in my chair." I feel like I wouldn't curse the chair. I'd want to curse something that's never gonna go away.
Yeah, chairs are going to go away pretty quick,
They
comparatively,
go.
compared to a tombstone. Of course, the tombstone's not there anymore, so.
Their life is limited, very limited. Busby was gibbeted at Sand Hut Crossroads beside an inn, which later had its name changed to the Busby Stoop Inn. The site of the execution opposite the pub on the A61 and A167 crossroads, now a roundabout, was said to be haunted by Busby's ghost. The chair is said to have remained in use for centuries, that's lucky, at the Busby Stoop Inn near Thirsk. Due to the many deaths later attributed to people sitting in the chair, the landlord donated it to the Thirsk Museum in 1978. The museum also displays a plaque with the stories of the chair's supposed victims. After Busby's death, multiple reports arose of people dying or meeting some other tragedy after sitting in the cursed chair. One man was found hanging outside the Busby Stoop Inn after sitting in the chair, and during the Second World War, Canadian airmen from the nearby base at Skipton-on-Swale went to the pub, and those who sat in the chair never returned from bombing missions over mainland Europe. The chair now hangs from a wall in England's Thirsk Museum so that no one can accidentally curse themselves by sitting in it, which I think I already said.
See, if somebody can strangle themselves with a chain riding a bike home, somebody can sit in that chair.
Oh yeah, it can be done. I mean, humans are something.
They are something.
The Hand Resist Him painting. This one's creepy.
And resist them?
Actually, I think I should look at it because I don't think I have. The Hands Resist Him painting. It's pretty creepy, actually. Isn't it creepy? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that kid's big forehead.
It's the eyes.
Oh, I thought it was the forehead.
Could be the forehead.
A sullen boy with sightless eyes stands in front of a door next to a creepy girl doll with a vaguely ventriloquist smile and jointed limbs. Behind them, several pairs of childish hands are pressed against the glass of the door. Painted by artist Bill Stoneham, The Hands Resist Him is considered one of the world's most haunted artworks. In 2000, a California couple put the eerie picture up for sale on an online auction site with a warning to potential buyers. Apparently, come nightfall, the figures in the painting would move or disappear, or the odd-looking boy would actually enter the room where the painting hung. People who viewed the painting complained of feeling sick or weak as if unseen hands were grabbing them. According to Stoneham, the painting is based on the childhood photograph of himself at age 5. The doorway symbolizes a threshold between worlds. The dolls act as his guide through this world in between waking and dreaming. The hands represent other lives. While Stoneham was surprised by all of the supernatural speculation surrounding the painting, he did concede that both the owner of the first gallery to ever show The Hands Resist Him and the art critic who reviewed it both died within 1 year of first seeing the painting. It is a creepy painting, just like the first one. They are there, though, in the painting.
I feel like you have ulterior motives if you're selling something and saying, by the way, it's haunted.
But sometimes it makes it go for more money.
I know, that's the ulterior motive.
Oh.
You're trying to...
Right, ulterior motive, you said. Then yes, I agree. I just had to say the ulterior motive out loud. Next one. Ötzi the Iceman? Have you heard of Ötzi?
No.
I assume that's how you say it. Ötzi.
Oh, yeah, the
Iceman. The mummy.
Yeah, I know the Iceman. Yes.
Yeah. Not the studio.
Yeah, apparently he's haunted. I did know that one.
Yeah, he's haunted. Since the discovery of this perfectly preserved Ice Age warrior in 1991, at least 7 deaths have been attributed to the curse of Ötzi. Well, how many deaths would you attribute to a curse? At least 7? 3? No, 3 is too little. I thought 7 was little.
Sorry, what?
I think
How many?
That was enough to be a curse. 7 deaths.
7, yeah. Like, that's more than the curse
the
of King
threshold?
Tut's tomb or whatever.
2?
I think it's just more than 1.
Really? Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be impressed by 2. I'd be like, the curse isn't that strong. I'd take a risk on it.
Okay. I mean, I think the threshold's going to change from person to person.
That's true.
I don't even think it has to kill anybody. It could just be creepy.
That's a good question for our listeners on Spotify. What is the threshold of curse? Okay, let's continue on. Curious minds, they wander. Some claim the warrior spirit seeks revenge for being disturbed after being encased in ice for thousands of years. I mean, there's probably a lot still out there that might be cursed in that case. And woolly mammoths. The hiker who discovered Ötzi, the team who took him from his icy grave, and the reporter who covered the story are some of the alleged victims of the Iceman's curse. Scientist Conrad Spindler, a leading expert on Ötzi, is also considered a victim since he perished shortly after joking about the curse and calling it rubbish. Oh shit.
You shouldn't call a curse rubbish. That's just the dumbest thing to call a curse.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't call it rubbish, just to put it out there. Let's rewind and find out what is disturbing Ötzi. In 1991, hikers found a mummified body protruding from a glacier in the Ötztal Alps, which straddle the border of Austria and Italy. It turned out to be a middle-aged man murdered by an arrow over 5,000 years ago. People started calling him Ötzi the Iceman, and he pretty much rocked the world of prehistoric research. 14 years later, Australian molecular archaeologist Thomas Loy died at the age of 63 of natural causes. He had studied Ötzi closely. Oh good, I was wondering how this was related to a haunting. I'm glad I got that.
Yeah, just some guy, he died.
Yeah. In fact, it was Loy who found traces of blood from several other people on Ötzi and claimed that he likely died after a skirmish. That's sad. It's very sad.
Have you seen artist renditions of Ötzi?
No, I'm going to Google it while I look at the...
He looks like a real redneck.
Artist? Oh, yes, I have. Now that you say that, I have. To some people, Loy's connection to the Iceman was interesting, if unremarkable, sentenced to his obituary. To others, it was yet more evidence that the corpse carried a fatal curse. The trouble with Ötzi the Iceman began the year after he was discovered, when 64-year-old forensic pathologist Rainer Henn perished in a car accident. Henn had moved the remains into a body bag and was actually en route to give a lecture on the Iceman when he died. Not long after that tragedy, mountain climber Kurt Fritz died in an avalanche. He had arranged the helicopter trip to retrieve Ötzi from the mountain. Then, it said that Rainer Hutz, who captured footage of the retrieval, passed away from a brain tumor at the age of 47. Oh, yeah, look at Ötzi. He's...
What?
Something.
I'm just curious, because this is so long ago, we're never going to get an answer as to how Ötzi cursed. But I'm curious, like, what he did to curse.
He did to curse?
That sounds like a weird way to phrase it, but like, why is he cursed?
Because he was trapped in the ice for so long. Is the theory. He hated it. But he was then released, so that doesn't make sense.
No.
Maybe it's because he was disturbed and he liked it.
Maybe he did. He is the Iceman after all.
He doesn't
He's
like
not
being
Iceman
hot
anymore. Yeah.
He doesn't like it.
They gotta cool him off.
The Iceman claimed 3 more lives in quick succession between 2004 and 2005. First, Helmut Simon, one of the hikers who discovered Ötzi, died after falling 300 feet down a mountain. The archaeologist Conrad Spindler, one of Ötzi's chief researchers, died of complications from multiple sclerosis. I mean, that's a stretch.
I think some curses have to remember that everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
This curse killed him of old age.
We talked about this. We've done an episode on curses. It was the episode called... I had to look at it.
This episode is cursed.
This episode is cursed. Don't listen.
It was a Halloween episode.
So all I've pictured the entire time of this, like reading Ötzi, is the mummy, and Ötzi slowly killing people to gain his body back. And I can imagine literally no other scenario that would make sense. I mean, unless he was trying to avenge himself. Shame he felt that he had to do that so many years later, but that's my scenario that's going on with this. Like, he is just killing people so that he can become a whole man again to do evil things.
But I thought they found him whole.
The mummy? Well, no.
Ötzi.
Like, yeah, he's mummified, but he wants to be a real person again.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Wasn't... The mummy was a mummy, and then he came back.
But part of it is with a mummy, they take out parts before they put it in the sarcophagus.
Right. They didn't do that with Utsi.
I don't think they did that with Otzi.
No,
I'm pretty sure he's just a whole
guy.
guy. I do like to picture this guy that the artist rendition of him just like shows up around where these people are and like pushes them off mountains. And like jumps out and scares them into a fatal car accident.
I mean, I would be startled if I saw this guy. This guy looks like...
Man, just the horror movies that can be coming from the things we're talking about today would be genre defining.
Journey.
Like they'd be just so different.
I said that with an accent. Journey to the Fringe at gmail.com or your movie horror rights. We may sell multiple.
Or just ideas. We got lots of them.
Yeah. Oh, we'll give you ideas. Anyhow, today Utsi can be visited in person in Italy's South Tyrol Museum of Archaeologists if you dare. Archaeology. If you dare.
Has anybody who's seen him, like just as a tourist, died?
Doesn't seem
been
like
attributed, I guess.
He
would
may
be a way to say it.
have a full human form, and they could just have a doll in the museum. These are all just ideas for movies. If you must know. And I should shut up because we could sell.
We're just giving them away.
Yeah.
Remember, you gotta pay us.
Yeah. Send our money. Journey to the French at gmail.com. Okay, the next one. Next movie idea. The Bronze Lady statue. Have you heard of the legend of Sleepy Hollow? No, not that one. The one about Bronze Lady, who's actually much easier to find than the Headless Horseman. She's a bronze statue located in New York's Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, home to the grave of Washington Irving himself, officially named Reculement or Grief. The Bronze Lady was commissioned by the widow of Civil War General Samuel M. Thomas after he died in 1903. As the story goes, Thomas's widow was unhappy with the statue because its expression seemed too morose. So sculptor Andrew O'Connor Jr. redid it for her. But instead of handing over the new head, he called it a monstrosity and shattered it in front of her. The disgruntled Mrs. Thomas installed the original figure to watch over her late husband's tomb anyway, and in the following years, nighttime visitors to the cemetery claimed to have heard quiet sobs coming from the Bronze Lady. Superstitions got embellished and passed down by neighborhood kids through the 20th century. Anthony J. Marmo, who grew up there in the 1970s, shared his childhood memories with the New York Times in 2000. Quote, "If you knock on the door of the general's tomb and look through a keyhole, it was said that you would have a bad dream that night. Of course, that always worked. There was another one where, if you slapped her in the face, sat in her lap, and spit in her eye, she would haunt you for the rest of your life, and there was always one brave kid who did it." End quote. Not sure if they're haunted or not. To be announced. Next, the Myrtle's Plantation Mirror. Known as one of America's most haunted homes and the alleged site of as many as 10 murders, this antebellum mansion in St. Francisville, Louisiana also boasts a highly mysterious mirror. Purchased by the homeowners sometime 3 or 4 decades ago, the mirror is said to contain the ghost of Sarah Woodruff, the original mistress of the house, and her children. Custom dictates that mirrors should be covered when someone dies so that the soul of the deceased doesn't get caught in the mirror instead of ascending to heaven. Apparently, at Sarah's death, the mourners abandoned tradition. Now, visitors at Myrtle's Plantation have reported seeing handprints materialize in the mirror and long drip marks, which no amount of cleaning can remove. That one was short and sweet.
That's also a house, isn't it? Or
It is
the
also
mirror?
a haunted house, yes.
Okay. So that answers that question. Houses are objects.
Yeah, it also answers that the mirror's haunted, but also there are 10 murders in the house that were seemingly unrelated to the mirror at all, and just offhandedly mentioned. So the plantation
We don't
mirror
need
may
to
not
focus
be
too much on
haunted as
that.
well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's not a murder episode, it's a curse or haunted episode.
Exactly. With some murders happening in the background. Okay, last but not least, the chairs of Belcourt Castle. Belcourt Castle is located on Bellevue Avenue in Newport, Rhode Island. It is a private property and offers no accommodations, but you can visit the castle as well as the garden, which is truly magnificent. The castle also boasts a museum. You can book a guided tour for those who aren't afraid of ghosts. They have ghost tours. The owner of the castle, Mrs. Harley Tinney, organizes candlelit guided tours at night for the ghosts. To see ghosts, not have ghosts join a tour. That wouldn't... They don't have money.
They don't have money. It's not worth it.
Do not. The construction of the building, which would later be called Belcourt Castle, started 1891 and finished in 1894. Although the main bulk of the construction took place during these 4 years, further building and architectural bits were added through the years. In fact, Belcourt Castle went through quite a few changes over the last centuries, and these architectural changes occurred with different owners. The building is a mix of many different European styles, but Belcourt Castle's architecture is strongly influenced by French Renaissance, and its interior is mainly of Gothic style. There are 60 rooms in total, and the castle is 50,000 square feet. Many different families have bought and occupied and sold the castle. The current owners of the castle, the Tinneys, who still own the castle, gave it the name Belcourt. Belcourt Castle is well known for its paranormal activity and has been featured in many TV shows, the latest being Ghost Hunters. Those interested in ghosts and other unexplained paranormal activities will be spoilt and can expect chills down their spine. The ballroom is the most feared room of the castle, since this is where most of the haunting and paranormal activity takes place. The current and former owners, as well as visitors and tour guides, have reported feeling a distinct presence standing behind them, and most particularly right behind their shoulder. I mean, I would classify that as behind. However, none of them have been able to identify whether that's a man or a woman, adult or a child. These chilling accounts have been investigated by famous paranormal investigators, but no explanation has been given, and the strange atmosphere can be felt seconds after you enter this large room. This is reminding me of the Haunted Mansion, like everyone dancing in there. No one said dancing. I'm just
curious. So everybody feels this, or certain people?
Apparently everyone. I mean, it is pretty haunted. It's a pretty high statistic.
100%, yeah.
Objects flying across the room, as well as furniture moving, are also very common, especially in the ballroom. And if you're lucky enough, you may hear footsteps around the room and doors opening and shutting on their own. Okay, it's not everybody. This is seriously reminding me of the Haunted Mansion. Like in most haunted houses, the temperature fluctuates and the ballroom can become very cold. All of a sudden, people have also reported feeling physically sick and even nauseous after spending a few seconds in the room. Others have mentioned getting the sudden urge of uncontrollable hatred. It could also be whoever you're on the tour with.
Does anybody check the air in this castle?
No.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. That's just me saying no.
I just feel like there could be something off with the air.
So anyway, what is haunted in this castle is what this object is the salt chairs. And they're one of the most baffling and fascinating paranormal activities present at the castle. Originally used by royalty to distribute salt, I don't get the relation, which was a very valuable commodity at the time. The salt was hidden inside the... Oh, here we go. I just had to keep reading. As always, the salt was hidden inside the chairs, and the kings or rulers would be seated on them to make sure they wouldn't disappear. Do you feel like having a little experience? If so, when you visit the castle, try to sit on one of the chairs and see what happens. Maybe you will be one of those who won't be able to sit, and instead you will feel someone pushing you. Some visitors claim to have been violently ejected from the chairs, and it appears that only men can sit on them. So that's what this one is about at the chairs, the salt chairs.
I had no idea that salt chairs were a thing, and yet
I didn't know either.
That's at least the style, apparently.
Yeah.
If you type in salt chair, you'll know exactly that kind of chair.
Finally, another spooky phenomenon seems to have happened to a monk at Belcourt Castle. Well, it's only the statue of the monk wearing an ancient robe. The statue is said to be moving and changing position. Once again, no explanation either can be given to the agonizing voices heard in and around the ballroom and the corridors. The voices, although frightening, seem to be warning the visitors. But of what? It remains a mystery, but only you can solve. I just added that last part. Salt chair. What? Surely this cannot be right. This is just an ordinary kitchen chair.
I know.
Okay. Belcourt Castle. Nope, nothing comes up with that either. I mean, I assume they're there, but cannot confirm. Anyhow, this is my episode.
I liked it. And yeah, if you need any more ideas for horror movies that will redefine the genre, I think you need to come to us.
We have an endless supply.
Yeah.
Or Sure.
Plus, if you
Or-
needed a cryptid to be like a horror person, we know them. We can tell you. Have you heard of Veggie Man?
Yeah, but a different
Oh.
one that's not Veggie Man. We got way more better ones. Also,
Yeah, we keep actually, just so everybody knows, we actually keep the best ones for us to sell.
Yeah. It's just for us privately before we start recording. We just say the names and laugh.
Yeah.
Because they're so good.
The listeners will never know unless we get money from it.
And it's a super evil laugh, too. I can't even do it on this podcast for you. Also, if you happen to be recruiting, bunker, pretty much anything, journeytothefringe@gmail.com.
And I think with that, I have been Taylor, here with Chelsea. We are Journey to the Fringe. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Journey to the Fringe. If you have liked what you have listened to, please like, share, subscribe, or follow, depending on what venue you are listening to us through. Also, please, if possible, leave a 5-star review, as that really helps us in the algorithms. Should you wish to interact with us, please check us out on your social media of choice. I bet you we are there. And if you really want to communicate with us and give us ideas for new episodes, or tell us that we're wrong and terrible, either way, please send us an email at journeytothefringe@gmail.com. For now, I'll see you in the next episode.